You're listening to Retro Trek with the Caramel Apples podcast, an apple snack that dials up thoughtful, heartwarming nostalgia of all things great and retro in the golden era of pop culture and beyond, with your host Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee. Dorothy Zbornak.
Hey, Ma!
So, here we are. Week 4. We have arrived to the show for Dorothy Zbornak.
Oh, yes. Dorothy.
Dorothy!
Yeah. So, of course, if you're just your first time, hanging out, retro trekking with us, we love talking about all things nostalgia, pop culture.
Yeah.
And the last, 5 weeks now?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we've actually been tackling the Golden Girls. So, yeah, Dorothy, she is the flipping cherry on top of this sundae. It's going to be a treat today.
Yeah, and like we said, they all were very, very, very strong components of this thing that became a time phenomenon, right? For
Yes.
being in the 80s.
Yes.
But I do think Dorothy was kind of the glue for all of them.
She really was.
Yeah, she, obviously she was the shoe-in for her mom. But she was pretty much wise, and she was level-headed when everybody else was kind of too melodramatic with something, or too one way about men or something. She could level it out. She just brought that to the show, and it was so cool.
She did, and we have done other apple snacks on Rose Nyland, Blanche Devereaux, and Sophia and Dorothy. But all of them coming together as friends. We have a strong nostalgic proponent for thinking about our girl squad.
Yeah.
And watching them in a mature way pull off the same stuff we did, and have that warm camaraderie amongst each other. I don't know. Sitting down watching the Golden Girls at any time is always on point, and it's always a good time. I don't know. I love them.
Yeah. I mean, you're really set up for just kick back and relax and laugh the whole time.
That's right. So Dorothy specific though, her main goal during the series was to basically find a companion that she could relate to, and her mother would vet them.
Yes.
Unofficially, of course, because Dorothy related. She did care, but she didn't, because she's a grown woman. Come on now.
Right.
She's in her, she has silver hair. She's in her silver years or whatever. But this was, like you said, the glue of what Golden Girls was. She was the catalyst to all the gags and the laughs and the jokes and all that. So, yeah. I mean, even with her rotten ex-husband.
The potato.
You cannot not talk about Stan. I mean.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me, Stan.
Man, he might have annoyed people.
He might have. Yeah.
But I don't know about you, Coop, but I love stupidity. I love ridiculousn's, and Stan fits the bill all across the board.
I would agree. Him joining in anytime he'd show up. Like you said, there'd be other shows that you'd watch, and if a certain character would show up, you might have your eye rolls because you're like, oh, why are they in the story right now? But it was not like that with Stan.
No.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. But
he would just get in there and They were like, oh God. You can see it all over their faces too. Like, they're all having a good time talking or whatever, eating cheesecake. And they're like, hello, everyone, it's me, Stan. You know, and they're like, buzzkill.
Yeah, they're like they didn't know who he was.
Yes. But because of all these different components, all the ladies, and even Stan and some of the other ladies' love interest, that's what made Golden Girls a hit from the very first episode.
Yeah.
So again, you know, Golden Girls ran from 1995 to 1992. So 7 seasons. This is 7 seasons of this beautiful dance, if you will, between the castmates. It's just, you know, I mean, we are way beyond that now. You know, we're in the 21st century.
Yeah.
And things are just not the same. It's just, you know, way different. And so it's nice that we have these warm, nostalgic moments that we can go back to. We need a recharge or whatever.
Right. Like you said, owning all 7 speaks for itself, right? Like,
That's it.
I own some series, and I only own, like, certain ones of the series. Like, I don't own all of them because somewhere along the line, you know, the story kind of lost its way. So it's like, it just kind of... So you get the ones that you really like, and you leave the rest.
That's it.
It's not that way with Golden Girls. You're like, no, I have to have them all. I need to watch it.
Well, it said, you know, Dorothy, she was one that was getting tired of, you know, because the show ended in 1992. And the season's finale, I think it was like a 2-hour, 2-parter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which, you know, just go watch it. It's, you know, pretty good. We don't want to do a spoiler. Everybody loves Golden Girls. You probably know what we're talking about.
Yeah. But
she didn't want to do it anymore. So after 7 seasons, they pulled the curtain on that. And I think that we're saddened by that, but I actually agree with that. Because what you just said, there was other series that would try to drag things out.
Yeah.
And they run out of steam. Soon they got aliens, you know, doing bake sales or like just ridiculous plots that don't have they're so far away from the original concepts. Like, what are we even watching anymore?
Yeah.
So,
in name only.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's a lot of what we have now. Like reality TV, let's not even go down that rabbit hole, but I mean, it's the same thing. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
And you're not, I mean, it depends on what you catch, but it's all the same. It's all kind of like pig tripe. Did I just say that? That's what I meant. But, but Dorothy, the show really hinged on her. So when they pulled the plug in 1992, they thought they would keep trying it. So we know the spinoff. Mm-hmm. I think it started that same year. Later that is
probably
quit in the spring and they start back up in the fall, because that's when seasons were back in the day. Yeah. Spring, fall. Yeah. So years would play out actual years and not just months. You know, it's a new concept now. But they tried to do the the Golden Palace. Yes. And that just had pretty much Rose and Blanche, who funded, I think she bought the hotel. Uh-huh. And Sophia was like the cook and the, you know, like the welcome wagon kind of thing. Right. And I think, so this is a good one for the Orchard Archivers. Do you remember who their front desk concierge was? Do you remember who that was?
Oh, that is going to be a good one for the Orchard Archivers. Yeah. I'm male or female?
Male.
Oh, wow. I'll have to do some digging on that myself.
So here's a hint. I believe it was Iron Man 2, maybe 3. Okay. I'll go no further.
Oh, wow. Definitely drawing a blank, but okay. Okay. That's a good question. But as you said, you know, here they probably rolled right into that next show. But sans Dorothy, I don't think it even grew legs. I mean...
It didn't.
Did it even run for a full season?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was like 1, maybe 2. Maybe they eked out 2, but no, it wasn't the same.
And they probably didn't have a whole lot of high hopes for it. They probably just said, well, let's throw some spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks. You know, if it sticks, great, but if it doesn't, we know why. You know, yes. We need the 4. We need the 4th Musketeer, which is Dorothy. And, you know, there were so many things about Dorothy, because we said that she was level-headed and things like that.
Oh, yeah, let's jump into her a little bit.
But at the same time, Dorothy, she was funny.
She was.
She was very funny. And I don't know if you remember, there was an episode where she actually tried out to be a comedian. Remember that? It was like a lifelong dream that she had. And so the whole show, obviously, the running line in and out is she's working on jokes and gonna get on stand-up, and she's gonna try it like a 5-minute segment at the local comedy club. And
Okay.
So long story short, she does sign up, she goes down there, and, you know, at first it was kind of crickets. And then Sophia pipes up in there, and she's like, how hot is it in here? You know, she's trying to get the crowd rallied and,
Gotcha.
you know, heckling her, you know, to seem like, but it's like, they're the only gray-haired people in this club. They know you're together. They know you're there helping.
The giveaway.
Yes. But she ended up, when she just kind of left what she had written out and just started telling jokes about her life, explaining her life, and people were, you know, rolling with it, and they were laughing and everything. Yeah, she's like, well, I'm glad you find my life funnier than I do.
Gotcha.
So it was cool that was even a component that because she was funny. She would deliver one-liners. They all could deliver one-liners.
Yeah, they had that knack back then.
They did.
More of the acting, if you will.
Yeah.
Now it's just so watered down and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty disappointing.
It is. Do you remember the time that she thought she was going to remarry Stan? Do you remember that?
What fun! Which one? But you've kept me on hold all this time to tell me that it is sold out? No, I will not have a nice day.
Yes, I do. I do remember that episode, yes. Yeah, because she always still loved him, but
Yeah.
Stan is Stan. He's a potato, so...
Hey, but there's nothing wrong with my taste. You've seen that ring that I picked out for Dorothy.
Actually, he was going for a bracelet, but the mechanical claw grabbed the ring. I asked you not to do that.
I know, but I'm going stir crazy. There's no way out. No way out.
So she dodged that bullet the second time, not so much the first time.
Yeah, the roomies. They were like, Dorothy,
Yeah.
you can't do this. Especially like, they were not having that.
Yeah, they're going to break up the group, and for him? What?
Yeah.
You hate this man. What is going on?
He was so sleazy. He was like so slick. He just like moved right on in, right?
He did.
Yeah, and Dorothy's like, I'm awake now. No, thank you.
Yes.
And I can't remember this one episode. This is more Sophia, but they were talking about Frank Sinatra. Which, that's another awesome topic. But, Sophia was sitting in the room. I think Dorothy walks in on her from the kitchen. And she's knitting. Sophia's knitting. Singing one of his songs. And she was like... That's why is a tramp. Three times throughout that whole episode, and every time she did it, Dorothy would stop and look mortified because her mom was in the zone. Yeah, she was like, Mom!
Oh my goodness. That is insane. Yes. Another chart topper.
Oh, it is.
Thank you, Sophia.
And I know, I can't remember if it was just in our Golden Girls episode, but I love the shows where they would go back and, piece together different shows in their memories.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what we're all about, memories and everything, so I thought those shows were really kind of entertaining, but...
Well, are you talking like when they would kind of depict them when they were younger type thing, or they would link other previous shows together?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Because they do them for, I think they did it for, the kids calling, waiting for their kids to call on.
Yes.
Valentine's Day or whatever.
Yes, Mother's Day, yeah.
That's what it was. It was Mother's Day.
Uh-huh.
And, no, this one, so they did that in, I think, the end of season 1 or season 2. That's when they were in the bedtime stories.
Uh-huh.
But then they did it again in season 7. I can't remember the name of the episode. I cried, screaming with laughter because all of this, just their heads on platters in the kitchen, and they were screaming and fighting with each other, no bodies. It was just their heads on plates. And Dorothy would get loud, and Blanche would lose her mind, and Rose would be doing a little wide-eyed, innocent, naive look, like she's like, where do I find my spot in? Sophia had a plate.
Oh, of course.
That was one of the funniest. I about died. I was like, see, that is genius television making right there, because it's like they are tapping in your funny bone.
Yes.
And they want to make sure they do justice with it.
Yes.
I love it. It was hands down one of the better episodes for the later seasons,
Right.
So, I don't know. Dorothy. And I love how she's got that. It's not super strong, but you can detect that Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I like how she always talked about New York, because, we are just, we love New York,
yes,
New York City. And
yes, we do.
So I think that was kind of like, personally for me, I like the fact that Sophia and Dorothy had that heritage.
Yes.
That they bring to the table. Here they're in hot, sunny Miami, Florida,
Right.
They're retirees, and they're talking about the good days when they were up there in their prime, in New York City and stuff. So,
right.
That hit home. I was like, yeah, that's good stuff, because New York, there ain't nothing like it.
Yeah, New York's pretty bomb, isn't it?
It is.
Well, what about the episode where I believe Dorothy is I remember she's sitting at the table, and Sophia, of course, she enters in, and she's working on becoming a magician or something. So she's working on her act.
They're in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she needs to borrow a watch. And so she takes, I can't remember if this was like an heirloom, I don't know, but she takes Dorothy's watch.
Yes.
Does her little presto changeo abracadabra thingy, and the watch didn't end up disappearing. And somehow Sophia had forgotten that it was supposed to be the end of the trick. And she's like, this watch is broken.
She did.
Oh.
Hey, Ma.
Oh.
And the look on Dorothy's face.
Oh.
There were so many classic moments where she just wanted to choke Sophia.
Yes.
That was one of them.
That was one of them. Yeah, like you said, Dorothy, she had a signature look that Sophia knew when she had pushed the envelope a little too far. And that was cool too, because like, how you were talking about, the old piece shows together.
Yes.
When they do reminisce sometimes back when they were younger, we would have Estelle Getty being young, and then you would have Dorothy actually playing her grandma.
Yes. Oh, yes. That face.
Yes.
We saw that face a lot. Man, she looked like old time, too.
She did.
Kind of like those black and white or sepia pictures.
Yeah.
Of older folks. She's kind of spooky, scary looking, wasn't she?
Yes, and the wig looked dusty. It was like, oh my God.
Holy God, what are you showing me? Hey, come on.
Where'd you get this thing? Whose attic did you pull this from?
Yeah.
Did you beat the bugs out?
But don't forget, we're going to see Burt Reynolds.
That was a good one, too. Oh, is that the Ladies of the Evening?
Yes, I think you mentioned that one.
Oh, that was one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And Blanche, that was her fault. That was Blanche's fault. Blanche is hot to trot.
Yes.
And they were all like, okay.
Yeah.
And of course they were all like, yes, like you said, Burt Reynolds. Which we'll get there in a second. But I mean, that was a classic. They end up in the slammer. And because they didn't invite Sophia, she's the one that ultimately she decided if she was going to rescue them or not.
Right.
She's a mother, so yeah, I guess she can figure that out. But she let them sweat a little bit.
Yeah, she did.
But that was neat, too, about Golden Girls. Over the years, they didn't do it a lot, which is good. But they would have cameo appearances from actual stars like Burt Reynolds. He was in that when he showed up at the end.
Right.
I think Julio Iglesias was in one of them. Then there was other, like, sitcom 70s, 80s faces that you'd see on other TV shows.
Right.
I actually think that Dorothy was seeing somebody that she worked with at the school. And he sounded like he looks and sounds like he was from New York too. He actually, this actor, I can't think of his name, he actually played Joe Polnicek's dad in Facts of Life.
I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And Dorothy was gone over this guy because he made her feel alive and good. And she just was like, this is just, I want this feeling to never stop. I want this to never end. And then she was the side piece.
Yeah.
Aw, broke Dorothy's heart. She was like, she wanted to kill him at that point. Then she's ready to knock him off the balcony of the hotel. But, I don't know. There were just a lot of key moments all baked out throughout Golden Girls. It was just a good time.
It was. And it's funny, too, because, like, you know, they would bring up references from their time. Because do you remember she had a thing for Glenn Miller? Do you remember that?
Was that the big band?
Yes.
Okay.
She had a thing for him. And then, like, when they would go to these kinds of functions, they would dress up for this. I mean, it was still dress up old lady style 80s. But they were dressed to the nines, right? I mean, they were, like, elegant ladies and whatever.
Yeah. Night out on the town, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, now it's going to Olive Garden maybe with your semi-casual wear on.
Right. But yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I mean, Dorothy, she really was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, like, talking about Golden Palace, yes, you still had 3 of them, but without her, that means they would have to introduce a lot of other people. Like you said, yeah, we had some people that would show up in the Golden Girls, but for Golden Palace, that was almost, it had to be that way because they were missing such a big component of the story.
Yeah.
They would have to try to make it engaging for people. And it really didn't stand on its own. So Dorothy was amazing.
And one more thing before we end our apple snack this week was the actual last episode where like they didn't edit it out. Like they were like, she was like crying. They were all crying because it was the end.
Yeah.
And they were all like, they were all sobbing mess. And then you were sitting there like, oh, you felt bad too because you're like, you didn't want it to end, but the emotion came out.
Yeah.
Like it was raw, it was real, and it was like, they really did it. They had their differences.
Yeah.
We talked about that, so check out our actual Golden Girls episode. We do touch on that. But, they did become, in essence, a family. They were a television family, and they had the professionalism to make sure that they brought that to the die-hard fans, to the audience. And we thank them for that.
Right.
So, yeah. So, we got through our Golden Girls, our trial. I can't think of the word. Yeah, so we got through our retro caramelicious candy of the Golden Girls, so.
Finally, someone she can talk to.
That is terrible. But we'll go with it. Our feelings behind it is all genuine, though. Like, we really hate that times have changed, and it's just a new era.
Yeah.
We just roll up the sleeves and do other things now. Like talk about the great days.
Yes. And we can always go back and relive them if absolutely needed to. Yes.
That's right. That's why who is a tramp? Mom!
It's fine. But you've kept me on hold all this time to tell me that it is sold out? No, I will not have a nice day.
And that's it for this week's Apple Snack. But as you know, there's always more where that came from. So stay tuned. Subscribe, rate, and spread the word. See you next time in the Retro Orchard, and thanks so much for listening.